can help me.
Thank you. Okay, so Raquel and Amber, I don't know if you know everybody that's on, but Hannah is a double diamond on our team. She is a sideline of ours, and she is amazing. So I was like, please, please, please get on and talk to my team. And then I assume you know Lindsay and Jen. Jen is a triple diamond, and Lindsay is a presidential, and they're all our upline, sideline. So we're all related. It's a big family tree. And also, we have no plan for this whatsoever. So we're just gonna, fly by the seat of our pants, or whatever the saying is.
That's literally the style of my life. So
it's fine. It's fine. That's how I work. Everyone's like, "Oh, what's your plan?" I'm like, "I got nothing." Amber and Raquel, turn your video on because I don't want to look at a gray person. Thank you, Amber. Thank you.
Helps when I have my mic on. I just got back from kickboxing, so just ignore my face.
Oh, you're fine. You killed it. Way to go. Proud of you.
Hey, at least we can see yours. Jen's is a black square.
Yeah.
Sorry.
way to go, Jen.
Jen's hiding under a blanket.
I apologize. My dog barks a lot.
Oh, that's fine. He does bark a lot. That's when I was over there. I was like, dude, chill out.
Yeah.
So Courtney, like, what do you think? Like, you want us to like share like a little bit about each of us? Like our story maybe?
Yeah, I was hoping that you guys could all, because I feel like everyone's sick of hearing me talk about like my story with everything. So I was hoping you guys could all just share like your story and how things are going, like what you do on a day-to-day basis, kind of like any big tips, anything that's really working, anything like that.
Okay. Do you guys care if I start? Hannah, do you think you should? Okay. I didn't know how.
I'm writing down my thoughts, so go ahead.
I didn't know how W was going to do.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Okay, well, I'll start. So I'm Lindsay Winkler, and I'm Presidential Diamond, and I joined, it'll be 5 years in May. And prior to doing this, I worked as a registered nurse. And when I joined, I had a 4-month-old baby. My husband was in the military, and I just really didn't want to have to go to work. I didn't want to have to send my baby to daycare or babysitter where I didn't know anybody. So my big thing was I didn't want to go to work, but my husband said I had to make money because we couldn't pay our bills. I saw my friend Bonnie posting about this opportunity, talking about the products, and I thought, oh, God, she's nuts. Like, what is she talking about? I ignored her. So if you guys ever have anybody who you feel like is ignoring you, I was one of those people, but I was still watching. And but I knew she was a real person. Her and I went to nursing school together, and I was like, okay, if she's like doing this, like it's got to be legit because she's a real person. She wouldn't do something if it wasn't worth it. Like, she's a nurse, like we make good money. But anyway, so I kind of like let it go for a few months. So I was someone who talked to her about it and then didn't say anything. Like, I ignored her for 2 months. So if you guys have people that do that, that's okay. I was one of those people. But I jumped in like really finally just because I finally was like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to try it for 3 months. I'm going to give it 100%. And if I don't notice like something happening, like if I don't see potential, then I'll stop. And Bonnie was like, okay, like, but you have to do what I say. And, you know, here I am 5 years later. So obviously you can see that it turned like it went well. But really, you guys, like, it turned into something I never expected. Like, I literally joined for $300 a month. I didn't work, like, on my phone all day. Like, I didn't spend hours a day. I, you know, did 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, just whenever. I was posting twice a day, every single day. But I was doing everything my enroller was telling me to do. If she would have told me to lick peanut butter off the sidewalk because it was going to help me in my business, like, I would have done it. Like, that's how much I listened to what she said, because at that time she was double diamond. I was like, she knows what she's talking about. Like, and for me, like, I'm the kind of person, if I'm going to do something, like, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm not going to be half in, half out. So like I said, I really just jumped in. I did everything she told me to do. I'm like super shy. Like, I'm really awkward. I don't like to talk to people like in person. Like, this is cool. Like, on a phone is fine. But if I have to like walk up to someone at the grocery store and say like, hey, have you ever heard of that crazy rap thing? Like, that's not me. But so that shows you that really anybody can do this business. But like a year into the business, I went diamond and then double diamond. And a year later, I went triple and presidential. So changed our life. Like my husband was able to leave the military. We have 3 kids now. I'm staying home with all of them still. And it's just been really crazy. So that's really my story in a nutshell. But I just wanted you guys to understand, you know, that you're going to hear like even from Hannah and Jen, like they're going to be a lot different than my story. But really anybody can do this. And as long as you really say, I'm going to give this a real shot, I'm actually going to put in effort. Sorry, Jason's the computer. Like, you can do this. So that's me. So that's all. I'll stop talking now.
Do you want me to go next? Or Hannah, do you want to go?
What are you doing?
I'll go just because Wyatt's starting to get a little antsy, so
Got it.
I don't want to if I have to jump off. So I can share my story. Do you want like tips too, Courtney, or just our stories?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like just tell them your story, like how things went, and then yeah, just a couple tips.
Well,
That would
yeah,
be
I was
great.
thinking we would just all do our story, and then maybe we could just all throw our tips together, because I feel like, unless you have
Deal.
to go, Hannah, but I thought, because we do a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine. I'm down for
yeah,
whatever.
that works.
Okay, so I'm Hannah McLagan. I'm double diamond, and I've been with the company for, my gosh, it'll be 4 years in June, which is just crazy to me how fast. Holy crap, is it really gonna be 4 years? Oh my gosh.
It is. Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh. So, okay. Wow. All right. So it goes by really fast, you guys. So let me just start by saying that, like, you feel like, I don't know how long, Raquel and Amber, how long you guys have been in the business, but like, if you feel like, oh my gosh, it's been 6 months and I haven't done anything yet, like, I should probably just quit. This isn't working. Like, the time goes by either way. So just do it, because I can't tell you how fast 4 years just flew by. Like, legit, I thought I was 3, but it was 4. So anyways, I joined almost 4 years ago. I started because I wanted to actually just use the wrap, and I was the like 1 in a million people who like wanted to order a wrap, and Nadia said, hey, why don't you become a distributor instead? And I was like, hey, sure. And I did it. Like, I think it took her like 2 weeks to get me to sign up. But within that, and I always tell this to my potentials, you know, who tell me they don't have the money. My husband was deployed, and I was wanting to like look good for when he came home, wanted to buy the wraps. Nadia said, you know, it's $40 more to be a distributor. Why don't you do that? And I was like, well, you know, I really didn't want to. Like, I was a super introvert, and I was like, the thought made me want to throw up. Like, I was so scared. And so I was like, no, you know, let me ask Caleb. Like, probably not. And he was like, yeah, go for it. And I was like, yeah, but babe, you know, $100. And he said, well, you spend $100 at Target on crap all the time that we don't need. So why don't you try to like do something with this business? And I was like, crap, okay, sure. So I joined, and I took off really quick. Out of the gate, I signed, I think, 12 or 13 loyal customers in my first month, and I was so excited. I got my wrap, had the craziest results, and as soon as I did my first wrap, I shared my results on Facebook and told everyone that would listen about these wraps. And I took like my before and after picture to my office job and literally like showed everyone at the office and was like, holy crap, look at this. This thing really works. Have you ever heard of it? So I was just like super on fire with excitement. And then I kind of like things started to slow down. Like, the initial people that first saw me posting, like, they had already ordered, and like I signed 2 or 3 distributors in my first 6 months, and they all quit. And I was really starting to feel like the business didn't work. Oh, sorry guys, I knew this was gonna happen. I'm trying to say this as quick as I can. So in December, right before Christmas time, so at this point I was pregnant. I got pregnant a few months after I joined the business. And so December, nothing had really happened yet. Like, I was signing customers. Like I said, every distributor that I had signed had quit or wasn't doing anything. And and so I decided I was going to quit. I decided the business didn't work. Hang on, I'm going to stand up because he doesn't like to sit. I told my husband, I said, you know what, this doesn't work. The business isn't working. I gave it a fair shot. It's been 6 months. Nothing's happening. And I'm going to quit. And we might have to go to Jen. And then I'll come back.
Is it my turn?
It might be your turn.
Hold on, just took my earbuds out.
Sorry, guys.
There we go. Hey guys. Oh my gosh, it was way better under the blanket. Whew. All right, don't look at me. But I started, can you guys hear me? Okay. I started the business a little over 5 years ago now, and I was working full time. I have two little boys at the time. Drew was a baby, and Ryan was like 7, I guess, about to turn 8. And I started because we had like $50,000 in credit card debt, and we were just like drowning in it, absolutely drowning. And we were just adding to it every single month because neither one of our jobs really paid like what we needed them to. And I saw my friend posting, and I was like, gosh, if I could even just make like an extra $500 a month, that would help so much. And so I started, even though I am like painfully shy. Like if you go back on my Facebook and you look before I started this business, I probably posted on Facebook like 5 times a year. And then I started this business where they're like, post every day. So I was really uncomfortable and really nervous, but I saw the potential and I knew that we needed it like desperately. We were going to lose our house, like stuff was about to get real. So I just jumped. I went for it and started, off pretty slow. I barely signed my 4 customers in my first month. It took me 3 months to sign a distributor, and honestly, I only signed that distributor because of an upline that was at my party. So I got off to a pretty slow start. But like the common theme here, if you just, kind of stick with it and you really trust what your like uplines are telling you to do and you really follow through with it, it happens. And I had a problem doing that because I was just really holding myself back and letting the shy thing kind of be an excuse. But once I stopped doing that and I started just realizing what I had my hands on and started doing what I was being taught to do, things started to take off. So slow start, but wound up going diamond in 9 months and then double in 12 months. And then it took me, I don't know, it felt like 18 years, but it wasn't quite that long to go triple after that. So yeah, that's kind of my story. And it's kind of cool because when I started, I didn't have like my full why. We just had the credit card debt, which is gone now, by the way. But as my then baby started to get a little bigger, we realized that he had some pretty like significant struggles and things that he needed help with. And the fact that I was able to quit my job and stay home with him and help him with stuff was just like, big why number 2, and just goes to show like all that you can do with this business. If stuff comes up in your life, like this is your solution for sure. So that's me. Why can't I hear?
Hannah, are you
Oh,
good
there
now or no?
No, I can now. I think I had it messed up because of my earbuds.
Oh, okay. Hannah, are you good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll try to finish. I'll try to keep it short.
Okay,
Do you
good deal.
want us to share tips?
Yes, but let Hannah talk first, and then
Oh, why it's being quiet now? Yay.
she's quiet for a second, so we're
For
gonna
a
let it
second,
happen.
so I'll talk really
Yeah.
fast. So basically, long story short, I was going to quit, and my husband told me, "You're not quitting. You're giving this a year." And so I kept going, and I went to conference the next month, and it changed everything. So if you guys aren't going to conference, freaking get to conference. I went as a distributor, I think, maybe executive, but I can't remember now. And the next month I went ruby, and 4 months after that I went diamond and earned the $10,000 diamond bonus that they had at the time. And then 6 months after that, I went double diamond and earned a $30,000 bonus. And so long story short, I've been able to be home with both my babies since the day that my first was born. I've never had to go back to work. And then when I went double diamond at my 20-month mark in the business, I was able to let my husband retire from his job. So we've just been a full-time work from home family since, and it's been amazing.
So cool.
So
She's
still muted.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. I was like, come on, Courtney, you know how to work your phone. Oh my gosh, and I just love you. You're just wonderful. I'm glad you didn't quit, because then I never would have met you.
I'm glad I didn't quit too. And, you know, that's what I wanted to that's why I wanted to tell you guys that part of that story, because 6 months in seems like a long time at the time. And it seems like, you know, I've done everything I can, which in reality I hadn't. And, you know, you kind of just have to give it that full year to work its way out. But you have to be honest with yourself too and give it that year. And like, you can't join and like sit on your butt for a year and be like, well, I'm still not diamond. Like, honestly, working as hard as you can for a year, something's going to happen.
Yeah, and you never know, like everyone hits that like lull in their business, but you never know that the day before you give, like the day that you were thinking about giving up, the next day you could sign up a Rockstar distributor. Like you never know when the big things are about to happen.
Amen, sister.
Yes. Does someone want to start giving tips? Because I've given them like all my tips. So they're like, Courtney, stop talking.
Well, I hate to be a spoiler alert, but I bet you we're going to say a lot of the same stuff.
Probably true. Because, you know, I get my tips from you guys.
So, like whatever social media platform you're posting to, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or both, some like things that I do every single day that I just don't go a day without doing is, you know, I post about the products, and sometimes I post about like what I'm using. Sometimes I post results pictures, you know, sometimes I post that I have 2 spots in a weight loss challenge, whatever kind of, you know, it varies. I post about the opportunity every single day, whether it's like something it's doing for me. Today it was a picture of my groceries. Someone else's story, you know, also that varies. But then you also see posts for me that have nothing to do with the business. So I think it's really important to like keep a balance, but also be really, 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 really consistent. You know, for me, I watched posts for several months before I reached out. So it was like this little birdie chirping in my ear, like, chirp, chirp, this is awesome. Chirp, chirp, this is awesome. And she was really consistent. She shared every single day with passion and excitement, and it was contagious. And I didn't respond right away. You know, it wasn't like one post one day and I was like, yes, I'm doing that. So just be really consistent and be you and be excited. Every day I like grow my network, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram. I'm always adding new friends. Just like if I, you know, sold cable television, I wouldn't like walk around the same subdivision every single day telling people what I had. So I always like to grow my network. I don't know, Lindsay, Hannah, do you guys want to?
No, you're okay. So for me, like as far as like, because I know Raquel is really new, and Amber, like I know you're not as new, but you're kind of getting ready to really ramp it up and get a handle on this. So we're gonna pretend that you are, because that's totally fine. You can always start whenever you want to. Like I know people that didn't do anything for a year and are now presidential diamond. So you don't have to say, I've been in the business 8 months, but this is as far as I am. Who cares? You could say I've been in the business 8 months and I started working when I was in for 8 months. But like my biggest thing, like when I started, like I told you, was being consistent every single day, like posting every single day. Twice a day, like it's kind of different now, but I always, and I still kind of go for this rule, at least twice a day, every single day about It Works, like directly, whether it's a product post, whether it's like Jen said, a story or something like that. But then I also try to add in regular life stuff. So, you know, like funny memes, like positive quotes, just like a picture of, you know, your dog, or if you have a kid, your kid, you know, just anything that you would post if you weren't in It Works. Because you want people to still see that you're a normal person. Like, you don't want them to be like, oh, great, Raquel started selling It Works. She's like some kind of robot. Or, you know, people message you and be like, did you get hacked? Because that's like all you post about. Like, you want people to still be like, oh, like she must be like, you know, doing something kind of thing. The other thing is don't like hold things back. Like, don't start and say, oh, well, I've only been in it for a week, so I can't like talk about like people joining my team, or I can't bring up like, you know, making extra money, because that's not true. Like, you can have someone do this alongside you. Something that Jen always like brings up is, Jace, please turn that down. Sorry, my son's watching YouTube videos and it's like, everything's so loud. Is the how you don't have to sit there and talk about who's making $10,000, $15,000. Like, an extra $5 is huge. Putting an extra $25 towards your groceries, that's huge for a lot of people. So you guys just remember that. Like, even if you feel like, oh, my first paycheck was only $50, like $50 is a lot of money. Like, be proud of that, but just start. Those are the things in the beginning that are really going to start catching people's attention. You know what I mean? Like, because like I said, I remember putting $5 in my gas tank to get from work because that's all I could do. $5. You know what I mean? So now and there's a lot of people like that. So now it's like, have $50, you know, oh my gosh, I can fill up my tank and not have to look at my bank statement, you know, to see how much I have in there. But something I did too was sharing other people's successes. So if there's someone that we post in Freedom Wrappers that they just hit a promotion, you guys can post that too. Like, you guys can be like, oh my gosh, check out this person on my team. They just promoted. They're making an extra, you know, $500 a month, whatever it is. Like, don't feel like you can't share those things. Or if you're following one of us and you're like, oh wow, like Lindsay posted like a little story like about how, like, what she's done or where she's from, share those things. Like, those are the kinds of things that are going to get people drawn in as well. And if you guys can, use the products yourself. You know, with your kit, you already get wraps, you get some defining gel. Now, like Raquel, I think you got the Fit 5 in your kit. So those are like the perfect opportunity. Take some pictures, like selfies. I know sometimes selfies can be cheesy, but really they get people's attention for whatever reason. Connecting like your face to like the post, it makes them like even more interested. So you know what I mean? Like, just be showing the products that you're using. If you don't have your own results, use other people's. It's okay to do that. When I joined, I didn't ever try any of the products yet. So, but I was still posting. I was still sharing other people's results. So I think my biggest thing is just not like holding yourself back. Like, just jump in and do everything that you, like your enroller's telling you to do, all the tips that your upline's giving you. Just say like, I'm going to do whatever they say, because they obviously know what works. And that's all I did. And it got me to where I am. Like, I never did anything crazy. I still do the same things I did when I started. But I mean, you can be really successful by just doing those things, but you got to be consistent and do it every single day. And that's where you're going to notice the success. Because I'll say one more thing and then I'll shut up so Hannah can be on this, but just goes along with being consistent. So if you're thinking about it, like, people are seeing your posts every single day, and at first they might not be paying attention. They're going to be like, oh, what is this crap? Or what is she talking about? But every single day they're seeing it. So I feel like, you know, I think like about, you know, when I'm driving to work, or when I was driving to work, I'm driving past the billboard every day. At first you don't pay attention to it, but then you kind of start being like, oh yeah, McDonald's has a new milkshake. Cool. And then you keep driving by it, and before you know it, you're like, oh my gosh, I want to try that milkshake. You know what I mean? And then like the next day it's like on your list, like, okay, I gotta like make a detour so you know what I mean? So the more you see something, the more you want to, you know, try it, the more you want to like find out more about it. So I feel like that's the same with our business. Like, the more people see it, the more interested they're going to become, the more they're going to want to try it. So that's why just being consistent is so important. I have people that have been watching me for almost 5 years that are just now signing up, that I had no clue. So I think about it, if I would have quit in my first 6 months, in my first year, I wouldn't have signed up so many of these people, because I just gave up too soon. So those are things that I feel like are like just my biggest tips, and I hope it was helpful.
I feel like I had so many thoughts while you were talking, and now they're gone.
They're all gone.
Pretty much, like, I mean, like Courtney and Jen said, like, disclaimer, we all have the same tips, but you know,
But
it's
that's
the
awesome
same.
because that means the secret sauce is not secret. Like,
It's not
it's very
secret. It's
simple.
the same
Yeah.
thing. You're gonna do the same thing every single day, and you're not gonna quit. And that is, I put up a post today that said, if quitting's even on the table, then you've already lost. And that's the God's honest truth. If you have on your mind, like, well, if this doesn't work, I'll just quit, and that's not a big deal. Like, that you can't, quitting can't be an option, because it's gonna, you know, it's gonna take consistency and it's gonna take work. You guys can do it just like we have. Like Jen just said, like, there's no secret sauce. It's being consistent every single day, posting every single day. I think my biggest tip, and Lindsay basically said this, like, just be a normal person. Do not try to be anybody but yourself. You know, don't join It Works and, like, all of a sudden all people are seeing from your newsfeed is these black, green, and bling, obnoxious, like, stock photos. Like, still be yourself. And that's why what Lindsay said about, you know, like, taking pictures of yourself with the products, that's why that goes such a long way, because it's personal. It's you. It's not some just standard photo that the company put out. It's you. And so I think that's, like, my number one biggest tip is, like, stay true to you, be real, do your 2 posts a day. Like, I try to do 1 a day of me using the products, and then 1 a day of, like, the opportunity. And before I made it to Diamond, before, like, when I was first pregnant with my daughter, you know, when I had just joined, I posted almost every day. I can't wait. I'm so glad I have this business, because I can't wait to be making $500 extra a month, and I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. And, like, I hadn't done it yet. I hadn't made $500 a month yet. I hadn't made $1,000 a month yet. I haven't gone Diamond yet. But I posted it because I was claiming that success, and I was telling other people what I was going to do. And that gets people excited, because they're like, holy crap, what's this girl doing? She's going to make $500 a month. She's going to be able to, you know, pay off her college loan. She's going to be able to, like, put money aside every month for vacation. Like, I can't do that. What is she doing? I need to do it. So, like, I think that is, like, my biggest thing. Be real, be you, share your excitement. Don't feel like I don't know everything yet, so I need to, like, you know, I can't post because I don't know it all, or I can't talk to people about the opportunity because I don't know it all. Like, use your, like, being new in the business to your advantage. Like, if you're talking to someone and they ask you a question, be like, girl, I don't know, I'm just learning, but the beauty of this is I can learn as I go. Let me ask my upline and I'll get back to you. Like, you don't have to be, like, don't doubt yourself. Like, just be confident and go for it and be excited. And I think that, like, you're not being annoying. You're sharing something you're excited and you're passionate about. And if somebody thinks that's annoying, then, like, you know, bye, Felicia, whatever. Like, you know, they don't pay your bills, so who cares? So yeah, that's my biggest tip. Just be yourself and be excited and just go running full speed ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
all I got.
I'm gonna open up if you guys are okay with this. Are you guys okay? Like, Amber or Raquel, do you guys have any questions for them? Anything like that you want to ask, pick their brain?
The beauty of it is we can't bite you through the screen, so
This is true.
you can ask
This
whatever
is
you
true.
want.
Don't
be
forget to
shy.
unmute yourself, though.
There
I
you go,
think
Amber.
I think my biggest struggle is because I do work, like, a full-time job. Like, I run my own store, so I'm like, when I'm not there, I'm still on the clock. So I think it's just, like, me finding time to, like, actually, like, sit down, okay, like, do my birthday post and, like, do stuff like that. And, like, even just, like, the Zooms, like, I have to, like, look at my schedule and, like, be like, okay, can I do this one? And that's why, like, I love when they're recorded, so I can, like, go back and watch them.
Why did you start? Like, what's your, if you don't mind me asking.
Just extra money.
Okay. Well,
I have a really bad shopping problem.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not a problem. That's fun. So for me, like, when I started, obviously, like I already told you guys, we had a bunch of credit card debt, and it was really hard. Like, I worked full time, very demanding job. My husband is never home in the evening. So it wasn't even like, oh, when I get off work, he can watch the kids and I'll, you know, go do some work. Like, I had to always just focus on why I was doing this. So like when I didn't feel like I wanted to wake up a little bit earlier, or when I felt like I wanted to just be lazy during my
Okay.
lunch hour, you know, I would
Yeah, I'll
remind
get off.
myself, like, do I really want to be
Give me one
lazy,
second.
or do I want to get these credit card debts paid off? So
Mhm.
I think like having reminders of like, I don't know, if there's something you really want to buy, like make that the screenshot on your phone, you know,
You
just
guys,
little
I'm so
reminders.
sorry.
You're good.
I have to get off. There's something going on with my mom, so I got to get off, but it'll still be recorded. Stay on. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're
So
fine.
sorry.
It's okay.
Bye.
But just like, you know, keep your why in the forefront of your mind and just clock into this like it's another job, but one that's actually gonna like be more fruitful than
Yeah.
other jobs, you know, one that's gonna get you shopping trips that, you know, are guilt-free or whatever. But like, just really, if you have that planner and you have that schedule, then make time to clock into this. And it can be like 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there. Like, you don't have to sit there for hours and hours, but when you have the time that you're going to clock into it, just be really intentional with the time. Like, you know, I'm not going to just scroll social media. Like, I'm going to post, I'm going to, you know, add a few friends, or I'm going to send X number of messages, even if it's, you know, 3 messages at a time or whatever you can do. But just, I would just say, schedule this like you schedule everything else, and then commit to that and be really intentional. Like, have a list and really just be crossing that stuff off.
Well, I was gonna say too, like what helps me also, because like even though I'm like get to stay at home, like I have 3 toddlers and my husband works, and it's just really, really, really crazy. So I have to be very intentional with my time. So what I do a lot is at night, I think about when I can work certain times like throughout the day. Like maybe I'll like put up a post before I even get out of the bed in the morning. Or you know, when my kids are eating breakfast, like I'll do my birthday. Like just maybe think about like the night before, okay, like what do I have going on tomorrow, and when can I like have time just to do things like I said, my business is very 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, because my kids are like into something nonstop. Like it's just always going on. But like think about like how like when you're walking into work, like walking from your car into work, what can you do at that time? You know, when you're walking from, if you're like at your job, like you go from, you know, when you go from one point to the other, what could you do at that time on your lunch break? You know, yeah, maybe you want to talk with your coworkers, but maybe you need to say, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes of that time, you know, interacting with people. Like when I take a shower, that's when I listen to recordings a lot or watch YouTube videos. Like I just play it in the shower because that's a lot of time the only chance I get to like listen to stuff. I could do it at night, but you know what, if you do it while you're in the shower, then when you lay down at night, you can use that time for something different. You know what I mean? Because you can't message while you're in the shower. Or like when I'm riding in the car, I listen to videos and recordings while I'm in the car, like driving instead of the radio. So you can totally like make the time. You just gotta, and I really like, this is stuff I learned like throughout the business, and you guys are really fortunate because now we get to tell you the things we learned, so you don't have to do that. But you know, just think outside the box of when, like even if it's just a few minutes here and there, like you can kind of really maximize that time. And I'll catch myself sometimes like scrolling on Facebook. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Like, at least if you're going to be scrolling, like and comment on some posts. Like that takes 2 seconds. Like, you know what I mean? And that's, it doesn't, you don't think about it, but it helps your business. Like it's going to help people see your stuff. So just think about it, like doing it, try to just plan it out and just like, even just try to work it, like even in the few minutes you have, whenever you can.
And then once you get started with it, it becomes more of a habit. So like if I'm standing in a long line at the post office, you know, I'm not just like standing there twiddling my thumbs. I'll be like, oh, I can go add friends now or do my happy birthdays. Like,
yeah, I do that at the grocery store.
Yeah.
You learn really quick, like how to use every single spare minute. Like I know I was working full time too when I started, and I was commuting 2 hours each way to work. I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning to get to my job. And So like I would literally set my alarm for like 10 minutes sooner. I would do, I would throw up a post before I get out of bed, or if I didn't want to like post at 4 a.m., I would like set it up to post. I would like pick my picture. I would type up whatever I wanted in my notes, and then I would drive to work. And then when I got to work at 7:30 or whatever time it was, like while I was sitting in my car, before I got out of the car, walk to the office, I would post it. And then I would like go throughout my day. Every time I would take a bathroom break, like literally while I'm peeing, I'm like checking my messages. And then on my lunch, I would like follow up with people, put up a second post, and then like same thing throughout the second half of the day. And then I would like get to my car at the end of the day, and I'd throw up a post before I started driving. And then, get home, and at night before I got into bed, or like while I was in bed, that's when I would do like my birthdays, send 5 messages, I would listen to the recordings in the car to and from work, stuff like that. And for me now with like 2 babies, I've found super helpful is like at night, like I get in bed and in my notes in my phone, I use my notes for everything, but in my notes, I'll like plan what I'm going to post for the next day. So I'll put like post 1, like positive quote, post 2, result picture, post 3, like me drinking my greens, post 4. So then like the next day, I'm not like, God, I need to put up a post and I have no freaking clue what I'm going to do. Like, I'm so busy. I don't even know. Like, I have the picture ready to go and I have what I want to say ready to go. And a lot of times I'll even like do it in the drafts, because now on Facebook you can do drafts. So that's for a busy day, how to make it work.
Yeah, like, I mean, I always go by this, like, because I like to think sometimes I'm way too busy some days to do anything, but I always think that, you know what, there's somebody busier than me that's like killing it right now. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of like, how bad do you want to make this work? And now I even started waking up like at 5:45 in the morning, which I am not a morning person. I'm way more of a night person, but my husband started working nights, and it's just like totally like changed my day around. Like I tried working while he was like with that, like I tried working during the day, and at night it wasn't working. So now I wake up an hour before my kids, knock out my list, and I'm freaking done with it for the day. So throughout the day I'm still working, but I don't feel like so not telling you have to wake up an hour earlier, but just think like maybe you wake up 15 minutes earlier. You know what I mean? Like that's stay up 15 minutes later. Like I'll tell myself, oh, I want to watch this TV show, but I have to send 5 messages before I can watch it or something. You know what I mean? So use like maybe the things you like to do as your rewards, like until you're like just to push yourself a little bit. And just, I'm telling you, once you guys start doing it, like you're going to be like addicted. And now it's like, I can't even tell you guys, like some weeks I go through all week without watching TV, like without like a recorded episode, just because it's like, I don't even care. Like I rather work my business because I know that the work I'm putting in is going to be worth it. Like I can watch those shows anytime, but right now I want to like, work hard and, make that extra money. So
Yes.
I don't know. Hope that was helpful.
No, definitely it was. I get up at like 3 a.m. and go to the gym, and then I'm at work from like 6:30 to like 4 or 5, and like by 8 o'clock I'm like out. So like right now I'm like trying to stay up later to get more stuff done. So
Yeah,
it's definitely helpful. And like I have been using like my lunches, like I'll text Courtney halfway through the day, and I love her post. So I like look at her post and I'm like, I want to post like that. Like, so it's just like actually doing it, and like I'm just always like my like back of my mind is like, what do like everyone that I have on Facebook, like what do they think? Like, so it's like blocking that out.
They might think you're crazy now, but trust me, they're watching you. And you know what? Something you could do is even when you're at the gym, take a picture of you at the gym, even if you don't post it until 3 hours later, and like something like saying like had an awesome workout this morning at the gym, before work. Like people are gonna be like, dang, look at her go. Like she's working out before going to work. It doesn't always have to be it works. Like people are still they're still gonna be drawn into you, and they're gonna like kind of like feel like they know you even if they don't know you. Or take a post, like something I do, because I don't always like get ready every day, but when I do like look like a presentable human being, I'll take like a bunch of pictures. Like my husband will be like, what are you doing? Because I'll be like taking a bunch of selfies with like different products. I'll be like changing shirts sometimes just because I'm like, hey, like I gotta take advantage of this, but you know what I mean? And I have those ready to go. So Like, it just, and you don't have to stay up super late because I know you wake up earlier. But like I said, even if it's 15 minutes later, like, 15 minutes earlier, just whatever you got to do, like, you can totally be successful at this business even in an hour if you're being super like intentional with it. So you can totally do this. You'll get your routine and find what works best for you, and then it'll be like so easy. You'll be like, why wasn't I doing it? Because now I'm like, why the heck haven't I been waking up this early all the time? Like, freaking awesome. So.
And you know what, too? Like, a lot of people that thought I was crazy in the beginning don't think I'm crazy anymore. And you know what? There's still one or two people that are like, oh, you're still doing that rap thing? And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's freaking paying my bills, and like, we're all home as a family. Like, why do you care? So it's like, you know what? You can't care. Like, you know what? If they don't, I don't know why people even feel like they have an opinion. Like, who's going to say anything about the job you have now? Like, where you go judge someone for their 9 to 5? No. Like, if you want to make money posting on Facebook, which, come on, you can't even tell me, like, you go anywhere and everyone's like this. Anywhere. So why don't you, like, make extra money doing it? Like,
well, social media is where it's at. Like, I see people all the time posting about, like, oh, who needs, like, a home loan? Oh, who wants new health insurance? You know what I mean? Like, who wants to buy a car? Like, all kinds of other businesses are using social media to promote their business. Like, what we're doing just isn't traditional. It's not what people grew up or, were, like, taught to do. And it's like, it just, I don't know. I just think it's funny. But people are gonna tell you no, like, and sometimes the people that you expect to support you aren't always the people that support you. Like, some of my best friends aren't even customers of mine, and I've been doing it 5 years. So you can't let that get to you, because all I do now is just laugh, because I'm just like, okay, whatever, like, go ahead and keep complaining about going to your job every day, keep complaining about how you don't see your kid, and I'm gonna be over here, helping people, being with my kids, and we get to pay our bills. So
some days I want to post, like, you know what, I'm sick of seeing you guys post, like, oh, it's Monday again, I have to go to work, like, and I'm over here, like, bashing my head, like, no, you don't have to, like, you know what I mean? So just like, we get sick of seeing those people's negative posts all the time. Like, who cares if they don't like your post about helping someone get healthier?
Yeah, they'll be the ones that are going to be sorry one day, trust me.
And that can be your motivation. Like, okay, watch me go.
My husband was my biggest skeptic when I started. Like, he thought it was so stupid. He thought it was a scam. He thought I was wasting my money. But I was like, oh, you just freaking wait. Like, that was like my attitude, was like, oh, I'm going to show you, and trust me. About 6 months later, he felt real stupid, and he felt even stupider 6 months after that, whenever I got to have him quit his job and come home from the Marine Corps. You know what I mean? And now he's like my biggest cheerleader. So sometimes you got to use those people as your motivators to say, you know what, I'm going to prove you wrong. Because me, I'm not the kind of person that wants to fail. And if someone thinks I'm going to fail, then I'm going to make sure that I prove them wrong. So that's just how I think about that. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Like, I know it probably took a little longer than you guys like expected, and I appreciate you guys staying up late, but we're here anytime. Like, if you guys have questions, if you guys like want to like go to our pages, get inspiration, whatever it is, you're more than welcome to. Like, we're happy to help any way that we can, but just know that you guys, like, if you just work hard, be consistent, like, your life can be completely different even in the next 6 months. If you really like take this and just run with it. Because we're all just like you guys. Like, we didn't know what the heck we were doing. We thought maybe we're a little crazy because we did say we're gonna do this, and but if we can do this, so can you guys. So we hope you guys have a good night, and I'll get this recording to Courtney for you guys if you want to rewatch it. And if you guys have questions, just message us, okay? We're happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye.